Love it.
Okay.
All right, are we ready?
Ready?
I think so.
Places, everyone.
Places. No hands on the table, Dad.
How now, Brian Cal?
All right. Basic Bros, episode 1, take 17.
Hi guys, welcome. My name is Jordan,
My name's Ross.
and we're the Basic Bros. Nice. That was good. That was good.
It felt good.
It felt really good. This is our first podcast, and we are on a mission in transition to be a Swiss Army knife of manliness, is what I was specifically told to say. So
I think it's Swiss Army knife of manhood.
manhood. I'm sorry. Manliness does sound a little weird.
We have a lot to give to the world, I feel like.
I feel like we have a lot of gifts. We're kind of like Santa Claus. No, did I go the wrong way with that?
I don't know where you're going with that.
Well, you said give gifts to the world, and I think Santa
but
Claus.
we're
is meant to
so
do that.
dumb that we might be entertaining to watch.
It
so.
might be. Hopefully, you stay tuned in for longer than 5 minutes.
Hopefully you're still watching right now.
If you hit X on your browser, I don't blame you.
Let's get going.
So hey, we're gonna talk about news, sports, entertainment, mostly sports, a lot of entertainment as well, but
And a little bit of news.
and a little bit of news, just a smidget, you know what I mean? But yeah, we're pretty excited. One of the top stories that we are gonna break right now, though, is about ISIS. That scary being that they are.
We're gonna break this.
We're not gonna break it, but
we found it out.
we
We have
have
a
the opportunity.
correspondent in Syria on the ground.
Instead of CNN, it's JRN for Jordan Ross News
Yeah.
Network
Outstanding.
Incorporated, plus our intern and our director.
So
Okay.
What's the big headline today?
So, well, there are two Japanese hostages who are demanding ransom. ISIS is demanding ransom for these two Japanese hostages of $200 million from the Japanese government. Now, this comes to us after there were already two other men who were already beheaded, Kenji Goto Jogo and Haruna Yokawa, who were already beheaded. This deal stands for 72 hours for the Japanese government to give $200 million to ISIS. Ross, tell us more.
So ISIS, the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. This is just a typical tactic that they do with whether it be American
Out
people.
of the terrorist playbook.
Yeah,
right?
it really is in the terrorist playbook.
Terrorist playbook.
We're gonna behead some people if you don't.
Jet
give us money.
sweep behead left.
And I don't understand where getting money for threatening to behead people or beheading people is in the Quran.
Yeah.
Personally, or a Bible, or the Torah, whatever have you.
Mm-hmm.
But it is all about religion with them. But it seems to be more about something else.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of nervous to see if they get the $200 million, what ISIS can do with that. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, and
That's a lot of weapons that they could purchase.
Yeah, and I know the world has a kind of a strict we don't negotiate with terrorist policy.
Sure.
But you never know. It's two Japanese citizens, and hopefully we can see them come home and be safe and not have to deal with crap like this. Who does that?
Who wants to do that?
Nobody does.
I don't want to have to spend $200 million to get you back, Ross. I'll be honest. How do you put a price tag on a life?
I would hope $200 million would be worth it for me, but thanks, dude.
I'm sorry. I assumed you would say the same.
Oh, I would have scrounged up.
You would have scrounged up $200
Well, yeah,
million to
it's
save
Japan.
me.
They have Mitsubishi. They have other things that they can go to. Ask for some money.
Can we get a fact checker on that, intern? Can you check that, Tyler? Can we check to make sure that they have a profitable margin from Mitsubishi?
I think Japan could get $200 million. Now, me personally, I can't, but I would try. I'd give them all $6 in the bank.
Wow. Okay, well, moving on from ISIS and that depressing depressing story. We're going to talk about some tweets from Fox's own Rupert Murdoch, and as well as involving one of our favorite actors, I'd say. I'm going to let you take this.
Yeah, so Rupert Murdoch, he is a multimedia conglomerate, owner of Fox News and everything Fox, really, for you. Really put out some really interesting tweets about Muslims and them taking responsibility for terrorist attacks after the Charlie Hebdo attacks.
And I have the tweets pulled up.
Yeah, read those.
So Rupert Murdoch tweeted recently, and I'm sorry, hold on, we have a fact checker from our intern Tyler. Japan's largest general trading is a deal worth $197 million. I'm sorry? Mitsubishi. Okay, so they are worth $197 million. So what you're telling me is that Japan just sells Mitsubishi, and they just need to scrounge up $3 million more, and they could save these two guys.
And that money's tied up. So if we give them Mitsubishi, it's probably not the worst thing. Because what are they gonna do with a whole bunch of cars?
I can't believe that just happened. That literally just happened. Well, thank you, Tyler, for that fact checker.
They'd probably make car bombs.
Oh, come on! That's terrible. That is so bad.
I'm against the terrorists. The
Oh,
terrorists are pretty
the
much
terrorists. It's like
patriots,
the Ohio State University, the terrorists.
Yeah, I'm against
Yeah,
them.
I'm not in it either. Well, back to Rupert Murdoch. His tweets were, maybe most Muslims peaceful, but until they recognize and destroy their growing jihadist cancer, they must be held responsible. And then in a following tweet, he said, big jihadist danger looming everywhere from the Philippines to Africa to Europe to the U.S. Political correctness makes for denial and hypocrisy. What an idiot.
Yeah. And the fact that he's like, oh, big danger. I mean, there's danger literally everywhere. I mean, if we think about some of the last few national tragedies, the Aurora shootings, the shootings down in Arizona, those types of things, like, those had nothing to do with religion, period.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was just people who might be a little bit, astray in how they think.
Mental illness,
And
delusional minded.
It's very sad. And to say that, just because a small, very tiny sect of Islam is responsible and should be held accountable.
They get a blanket of stereotype that
Yeah.
makes them all responsible, and it's terrible. It's very close-minded
Yeah.
of a lot of people to think that way.
But it's one thing if I'm saying that, but this is a person who owns a media company.
Sure.
So I mean, he really needs to be
And
held
Fox News
accountable.
has its own rep of its own.
Yeah, Fox News does have its own rep, but I think some celebrities actually came out and kind of put Rupert Murdoch in his place.
The man, the myth, the legend, Aziz Ansari.
A personal hero.
Who doesn't love Aziz? Aziz came out, and I have the tweets pulled up as well. Roops, can we get a step-by-step guide on how can my 60-year-old parents in North Carolina help destroy terrorist groups? Please advise. He then continued to go on a spree. Are you responsible for the evil shit all Christians do, or just the insane amount of evil you yourself contribute to? You are Catholic. Why are you not hunting pedophiles? My personal favorite is Rupert Murdoch is responsible for all pedophilia committed by anyone Catholic. Rupert Murdoch, why are you pro-pedophile? Sad face. I think that's the funniest of the tweets because the sad face.
It is, and I mean, obviously Aziz is not trying to say all
No, and then he
Catholics
later
are
tweets.
pedophiles.
He later tweets.
Yeah.
To be clear, I am not religious and have nothing against Christians or Muslims. Just ignorance, like what Rupert Murdoch is spreading.
Yeah, and I think we try to categorize things too much in our society.
Sure.
And everything's a case-by-case situation. Like, there are crappy people in this world, and they're going to do crappy things,
Sure.
and we just need good people to step up and hopefully stop them before they can.
Sure.
But I don't think it has anything to do with what religion you are, because there are plenty of Muslims, plenty of Jewish people, Christians, Buddhists, whatever you're into, who are extremely nice and pleasant human beings. Actually, the majority of that is everyone's fine. It's just these small things that the media portrays as huge, hyped up things, and then they try to categorize, religions into certain corners. And I'm not a big fan of that, but it's good to see celebrities standing up. I know Aziz was the main one, J.K. Rowling of Harry Potter.
Who's awesome.
He was awesome. I mean, she gave us a Goblet of Fire. So.
She wrote a book on napkins.
On napkins.
On napkins.
Yeah, and she's British, so she's got a cool accent.
And we know Hermione.
Emma Watson. Let me tell you.
Whew. Thank you.
We don't have enough time to talk about Emma Watson.
But that might be
so-
a show on its own, just about Emma Watson and her
the Emma Watson
amazingness.
special.
Emma Watson.
All right, going
Well-
on. You more blazing headlines. We do.
We're gonna move on. We actually, according to reports in Taiwan, there was a man who died after a 3-day gaming binge.
Oh yeah.
Reports said an employee of an internet cafe in Taiwan found the gentleman slumped over, motionless, and where it was discovered that he had died after gaming 3 consecutive days at this internet cafe. Ross, thoughts?
It's really interesting. I mean, I think we've all been there before. I think we've all been really addicted to a game. But I think when you have to go to an internet cafe to play and you're dying,
Was that what you would call rock bottom?
I do think I would call that rock bottom.
Wow.
And I think I mean, what do you do?
Well,
What do you do?
I have a question because you said we've all been there. We've all had those games. What's your game?
My game is it's a special place in my heart.
Special place in your heart.
Back in high school, me and 3 buddies, we'd play this game called Champions of Norrath. And it is as dorky as it sounds.
It sounds awful.
It's awesome. You get to choose whether you're a barbarian, a high elf, a wizard. You have all these different things, and you play. And I mean, man, we're probably close to Taiwan guy status. Like we would not sleep until we beat that game, and it was amazing. You had to beat like a huge spider to win the game. It was awesome.
Well,
And everyone hates spiders.
that
so.
sounds like a really terrible game. I'm gonna be honest with you, not my cup of tea per se, but we still don't know what this gentleman was playing that caused him to obviously become addicted to it and play for 3 consecutive days.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting. I'm wondering if this game has a tradition.
I'm wondering if it's something crazy, like it's out of the box. It's like Centipede.
Yeah.
Or
what if it's like one of those
pong.
crappy video games that's made after movies? So like,
Spider-Man video games?
The Spider-Man.
Do you remember the
video
first
games?
Spider-Man video game back in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man days where you couldn't touch the ground? You couldn't even run. I was so upset.
I don't remember that. I try to forget
Just me?
anything Tobey Maguire's ever done, so that's personally me.
What about Seabiscuit?
I never saw it.
I didn't either.
I don't like horses.
I just threw it out there.
All right.
Another headline. Another one that we have. A Temple University student has died. She has fallen to her death from an 8-story fall. This student, and I'll have to pull up the name here in a second, but she supposedly was taking a selfie out her dorm room window and fell 8 stories to her death. She actually fell on top of a woman, a 44-year-old woman, who broke her vertebrae and is now missing teeth, but she is supposedly going to hang in there and survive. So that's great. But unfortunately, the student was a first-year student, 18-year-old woman who had fallen. Have selfies finally hit rock bottom?
Well, I don't think selfies hit rock bottom in this place. It just hit a 44-year-old woman. It's true. But I do think in our society we're going through too many times where we're just self-obsessed.
Yeah.
We're just a little self-obsessed.
Sure.
And that's what selfies are.
Police have not reported her identity yet, but she is now dead in Philadelphia. So
Can I make a comment on selfies real quick? Do you mind?
guess.
I just want to say out there to our viewers, nobody wants to look at you.
Wow.
Nobody wants to look at me. Quit taking selfies. Hashtag selfies kill.
Selfies. Hashtag selfies kill. I want a selfie stick though. Like think about it. We could use a selfie stick right now and take a selfie mid-podcast.
Nobody wants to see this. Maybe they want to see that, but they don't want to see this.
Who doesn't want to see this hair?
I don't.
With the glasses accenting it so well.
Yeah, dude.
We'll talk about that in J Trends coming later. We're actually now going to move on from news because those are our news storylines for the day. And we will now talk about sports. And in our sports news today, Super Bowl is now finally set.
Yeah.
We can have a Super Bowl preview.
We made it. Made it through the season.
Boozy, we made it. Ross, I'll let you take it away because I know that you want like 2 hours to talk about this.
Well, I won't take 2 hours,
Thank
but
God.
I will say, as a Seattle Seahawks fan, very strong and vibrant Seattle Seahawks fan, it's good to see them in the Super Bowl. Honestly, I'm very excited about this matchup. I think we truly have the 2 best teams playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's really exciting because
That's all that matters.
when Oregon wasn't the second best team in the nation. Alabama was. That was the real
Yeah,
national
true. That
championship.
was the real national
And I feel
championship.
like we're getting a real Super Bowl here, and there's a lot going on the line. We have Tom Brady's legacy versus the legacy of the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks can put themselves as easily one of the top 5 greatest teams of all time if they win this game. Easily, my opinion. Their defense can easily go as one of the top 5.
It can
greatest
easily,
defenses
yeah,
of all time,
absolutely. I'd say the offense still has some question marks here and there at
Yeah.
times.
too. But to win 2 Super Bowls in a row,
Back to back, that's
in
huge.
the modern era, I mean, it's just something that not many teams are capable of. And I know personally, as a Seahawks fan, as well as us being located here in the beautiful
great
city of Columbus, Ohio,
Love Columbus.
I think I'm actually chasing the perfect football year. February 2nd, 2014, Seahawks win the Super Bowl. Ohio State wins the national championship a couple weeks ago, and the Seahawks will win another Super Bowl on February 1st. In 365 days, I'm going to have the greatest sports year of any fan in the world. So, if they can pull it off, and I mean, it's going to be a tough game. Hopefully, the old Pats don't deflate any balls out there, you know what I mean?
Which does lead us to the Deflategate scandal. I don't want to know over under the truth, the value, any importance to this.
Zero importance. I don't think it makes a difference. I mean, I'm not out there shagging balls every day, but I don't think it really matters how inflated a ball is. I think the Patriots are just doing their things, and they won 45-7. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like 45-7. Like if it was a 28-27 game, sure.
Maybe that would definitely make an impact.
It
But
was
it
45-7.
Well, and that's something that the NFL is going to go under further investigation to see. And I get it. Obviously, it's deflated a little bit. Tom Brady can grip it a little better.
Yeah.
Receivers can catch it a little better because it's like a cush ball. It's like a Nerf ball.
Yeah,
is what it turns into essentially.
Yeah,
Maybe the
just grip
NFL
it
should
right.
have a Nerf ball game.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Probably
Whistle ball. The whistle ball.
Isn't that what the Pro Bowl is?
Is it?
I'm joking.
Oh.
I'm joking. That was just a joke.
Well, yeah, I know. It's an NFL regulated ball. Moving on, you mentioned Ohio State in the perfect sports year, and of course here in the great state of Ohio and the great city of Columbus, we are home to the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes for the first ever college football national championship, playoff champions, which is amazing. Led by third string Cardale, doing Cardale things. King Cardale, 12 gauge. He trolled the internet last week, trolled the world and the sports community, I would say. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious after the fact, because at first the whole day, he tweeted, life-changing announcement to make at the end of the day, right? Made it at 3 o'clock. He pushes it to 4. Everybody goes up to Cleveland because he's doing it at his high school at the Ginn Academy. Yeah. So that's like, okay, life-changing announcement. You're doing it at your high school and not Ohio State.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to the NFL, right?
You gotta go pro.
Exactly, and it's all the signs lead to the NFL for him. Especially it was the last day of the deadline to declare for the draft, and he then shows up 20 minutes late to his own presser. Comes out to Start It From the Bottom, which is the theme music for any person taking the next, any athlete
who's ever going to the pro,
ever. And he announces he's staying. He's staying. He's staying at Ohio State, doing third string things.
And it may be a new a power move by Cardale.
Power move. He said his education was very important to him, which sounds very responsible and very mature.
And it's really interesting that he says it's very important regarding the tweets that everyone knows about that Cardale sent out. But I think it's a power move by him because he goes into a situation where there are 2 Heisman level quarterbacks on his team with Braxton Miller and JT Barrett. Yeah. And I think that kind of gave him some pull that maybe he could become the starter next year. Yeah. I personally think he's our best chance of winning another national championship. I would personally start Cardale.
I think you have to start him. I think Braxton leaves, which leaves to the quarterback.
Braxton's got to go somewhere. Oregon, Duke, Florida State, those are the big options.
Well, he actually just had an official visit to LSU last week, so I think LSU is a sleeper favorite.
See, that would break my heart because Les Miles, LSU coach.
Les Miles is probably one step away from being the devil.
Yeah, he graduated from my high school, personally. Yeah.
Really?
He really did. And then he went to the University of Michigan, so obviously
he sucks. He sucks. He's terrible. The Mad Hatter is the Mad Bladder.
That doesn't even make sense, but we're going to just act like
we're going to run with it. Ross mentioned Cardale's tweets and talking about his education, and the one infamous tweet was, "We didn't come here to play school," was his tweet that he tweeted 2 years ago that almost got kicked off the team for that because it was pretty much just stating he was only there to play football, forget school. And it's amazing to see how much he's matured over the years.
Yeah.
Except for when he did say to the press conference, I don't know why you guys made a big deal about this. He's the one who had the press conference. He came out to Start It From the Bottom. But actually, 24/7 Sports did a great article on the top 9 Cardale tweets other than the...
Maybe we could get the intern to blast this out on the Basic Pros Twitter feed?
If our intern could do that, we do pay him in donuts. He'll tweet it on our tweet, which is of course at basic_bros on Twitter. Please follow us, tweet at us, tell us what you think, and as well as to see those Cardale tweets because they are pretty hilarious. I've scrolled through them a couple times.
And share with your friends.
Share with your friends.
Spend this time watching us rather than trying to figure out what you're going to watch next on Netflix.
Sharing is caring. Yeah, why do you even need to watch Netflix? But we will talk about Netflix later.
We will.
Which is awesome. So another big thing for City of Columbus, for sports-wise,
the NHL All-Star Game?
That's awesome.
Is that where you're going with that?
I thought it was,
That's where I'm at.
Okay.
No, good times for Columbus, especially bringing in such a high-level professional sports game in here. The All-Star events always bring money to a city.
Sure.
They always do really well. And even more exciting, we have 3 All-Stars from the home team, Columbus Blue Jackets.
Goalie Bob.
We have Goalie Bob. Nick Foligno and Ryan Johansson, who are having 2 superb years. And Nick Foligno was actually even named captain of the All-Star game.
That's huge.
Which is actually funny because the Blue Jackets currently haven't had a captain since Rick Nash left. So
really?
He could be the captain of the NHL All-Star game, but he's not even the captain of the
other team. That's crazy. And this is making up for, forgive me, at least correct me in that regard, for when the lockout happened a couple years ago, that we were supposed to have the All-Star game then, and this is the makeup for it. Is that correct?
Yeah. This is definitely the makeup for it because couldn't have it 2 years ago. Then they had the Winter Olympics last year, which they always nix the All-Star game for that.
Sure.
So they finally gave it to us, and it was really nice in the NHL too.
That's awesome.
Bring it into Columbus.
Yeah, it's huge. It's going to draw a lot of attention to a lot of people.
I mean, the stars who are going to be in there: Sidney Crosby, Jonathan Tate is the captain of the Western team.
Yeah. He's a stud.
Just phenomenal players. And then there's also the skills competition, which is always fun. So hopefully if you're in Columbus, you can get out, see the sights. And if you're not, definitely check out the NHL All-Star game because it should be a doozy. Hockey's a very underrated sport in our
It's going to be a doozy. Yeah, it's really growing in popularity, as well as soccer, I would say. But we'll talk about that at some point in this podcast.
in life.
The Cavaliers. State of the Cavs right now.
State of the Cavs.
Whew,
State of the
what
Cavs.
a hot topic that's been this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have a game-changing athlete like LeBron James come to your city. It's gonna make waves.
All the attention's there. Kyrie Irving, you get Kevin Love. They made some blockbuster moves, bringing in J.R. Smith and Amon Shumpert from the Knicks.
Yeah.
You bring in Timothy Mozgov from the Nuggets. I mean, Dan Gilbert has essentially put everything he's got into this now, this time around, because one of the kind of critiques or bad fouls they got when LeBron left was they didn't make any competitive moves to keep him there, and they are doing the exact opposite of that this time around.
I mean, they made obviously the big move, trading Wiggins for Love, and there's other pieces.
And the Wiggins for Love, and then you bring in Mozgov, who I think is the underrated sleeper of that, and then you bring in J.R. Smith, who's a trigger guy.
Yeah.
And he's going to pull the trigger and bring on some points. And last night they had a nationally televised game with the Bulls, and they smoked them. I mean, it was an impressive game.
Yeah.
Impressive victory. They routed them by 14. LeBron led the way with 26 points. He looked like the LeBron of old. I think that 2 weeks rest, as much criticism as he got for it, especially for going to the national championship game, during that 2 weeks was definitely a big, like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
But it's really kind of shown that it's paid off for him because he definitely has that explosion again from old. But you had all 5 Cavs starters last night in significant double figures, with the lowest being Mozgov with 15 points. Every one of those other starters scored higher than that.
Yeah, and he also brought in 15 rebounds, so
Huge.
I mean, you asked for 15-15 from a guy. That's awesome.
You can't expect better.
In that game, they really beat one of the teams. There's 5 teams that are the class of the East. Everyone knows that the rest of the East is very weak, but the Bulls, the Wizards, the Raptors, the Hawks, and the Cavs, that's the class of the East.
Yep.
And a good, dominating performance over one of those teams. And the Bulls have a lot to get together, but I think I really do like where the Cavs are at and where they're heading. Those moves are really starting to pay off, and also letting LeBron rest for 2 weeks. He says he feels great.
And you've seen some of that explosion with just some of the things. He needs to really work on his defensive game because right now he's been taking plays off, and it shows. It's really bad on defense, but they're playing well right now, so they're streaking. They just moved to 5th in the East, right behind Chicago after that win last night. So, I mean, we'll just have to see. We'll see if the Hawks will ever lose again, considering they've won 13 straight now.
Yeah, good team with great big men on the Hawks right now with is it Horford and I think what's the other guy's name?
Millsap?
Yeah,
Paul Millsap and Al
yeah.
Horford, yeah.
They're studs down now.
Well, it's great because they lack an all-star. They really do. I mean, Jeff Teague's playing like an all-star right now, but other than that, they really don't have one. Toronto's playing well with Kyle Lowry,
DeMar DeRozan. And the Raptors more so, I think, than the Hawks have those players who can really take over a game. So I see the Raptors as being the biggest competition for the Cavs this year in the Eastern Conference.
Absolutely, I agree.
But it's going to be an exciting NBA season.
I'm stoked. It's now that football is pretty much wound down. We only have the Super Bowl left. I'm in full basketball mode. Basketball's my favorite sport. Cavs all day, every day. It's all about the Cavs. And they're getting there. I think they're going to be a sleeper team, and I think it's going to be even better. I think they'll probably squeak a 3 or 4 seed at the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're still going to have some struggles here and there. But I think you squeak that, and I mean, the thing is, no one wants to play the Cavs.
No,
anybody can play them any night, and you don't know what you're going to get.
Well, you have 3 players who can legitimately drop 30 points in a game.
Hands down.
So.
And Kyrie is a phenomenal shooter, which is huge. So we'll see. Now we do have to talk about baseball, though, because unfortunately that will be all we'll be left with after basketball season's over.
And hockey season. Hockey season's exciting. But baseball, I do apologize to our viewers that we have to talk about baseball.
Sorry,
it's just the worst excuse for a sport in the history of the world.
I would literally.
And people say it's America's pastime. No.
It's
stay
in the past.
Football is now our pastime.
Stay in the past.
Like, the past is gone. It's football,
moved
basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, baseball's boring. But let's chat.
Max Scherzer, the man. He just signed a new deal with the Washington Nationals of 7 years, $200 million, leaving the Detroit Tigers, who actually their other pitcher for Detroit, Justin Verlander, who is dating Kate Upton, which is huge.
I mean, honestly,
he wins, he takes cake every time.
That gives him like $100 million more on his contract.
Hands down. He had the most lucrative contract in baseball history before that at 7 years, $180 million that he signed just before the 2013 season. So Max Scherzer becomes the highest paid pitcher in baseball. What do you think, Ross?
It's interesting. I mean, as anyone else would, he gets to leave Detroit, which is just a terrible city.
Terrible city.
And he goes to Washington.
Eminem doesn't even live there anymore.
He goes to Washington where he'll team up with Steven Strasburg, and I mean that's dynamite 1-2 punch on your starting rotation.
Sure.
So, really good move for the Nationals. Really a ridiculous amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think if you gave us $200 million, like, we'd be buying yachts and, like, doing stuff like that.
Saving people from ISIS.
But yeah, buku bucks. Yeah, I mean, I guess Max Scherzer has enough money to save.
He
the
could.
Japanese
He really could. He could
hostages.
save them. And on top of that, I mean, he did turn down a 6-year, $144 million extension from the Tigers.
Yeah, and I mean,
That's not even on top. He's 30. He's been getting paid probably boku money already.
yeah, he'll be good till he's 37, and at that point, he'll probably maybe pitch 1 or 2 more years.
Maybe a
But
couple more.
by the time he's 40, I mean, he's gonna be set. He's gonna have a lot of money, and he's a phenomenal pitcher, and nothing to take away. Even though his sport sucks, he's really good at that boring sport.
This
So,
is true.
Very
true.
So let's move on, and I think I have a nice crazy sports of the day story of the day.
Best
for you.
time. Best time.
This is actually something came from about a week ago, but
Good deal.
there's a hockey player named Johnny Gaudreau.
Johnny Gaudreau.
Johnny Gaudreau, super Canadian.
Is it literally good row?
It's spelled all French and stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Good.
Gaudreau. But he it's really good rookie season for the Calgary Flames.
Mhm.
Get this, he copyrights his nickname
Stop.
Johnny Hockey.
I hate it.
Johnny
I'm not
Hockey.
buying. No. Done.
Yeah, I mean, is this something we're going to be seeing? Like, I know...
We already have seen it. Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel, is the only one who has owned up or lived up to his nickname. At least he hasn't in the NFL yet, but he's one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah.
Hands down. You got to give him that, right?
He was a great
He was great. You know you'd put him in a top 10, top 15 list.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
come
we'll
on.
agree to disagree.
Come on. He
on that.
defeated Alabama when they were untouchable practically.
He never
and
won a
came out of
national
nowhere.
championship.
But that's not. If it's all about championships, then why is Dan Marino one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time?
He's not.
Stop.
Oh. Okay, we'll talk.
We'll debate that some other day. But
I don't know.
I don't buy it because you look at the predecessor at Texas A&M, Kenny Hill.
Kenny Trill.
You know your boy Kenny Trill.
Kenny Trill.
And he
Doing big
nicknamed and trademarked his nickname of Kenny Trill.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's looking to transfer because he got benched.
Kenny,
Okay?
Kenny
And he just got
not so
arrested
Trill.
for public intoxication.
Well,
I'm not buying. So Johnny Hockey, no.
Not
Dumb.
a fan of Johnny Hockey.
Dumb.
I can understand that.
Dumb.
I think it's great that someone from the sport of hockey is just trying to find another way to bring people in. I think it's good for the sport.
This is what happens in Canada. This Calgary.
Well, I bet you he's really nice. He probably went up and was like, "Oh, can I please change my name to Johnny Hockey?" Eh?
Oh, hey. We'll have to get him on sometime. But that is our crazy sports story of the day, and that concludes our sports segment, actually. And next, we're going to move on to entertainment. Entertainment. Cut. All right, and now in our entertainment news, we move on to American Sniper, which broke some pretty big records this weekend. Ross, did you see it?
I did get the chance to see American Sniper, and let me tell you, it was a very moving movie. I think the most interesting thing, and I know my parents actually saw it. My dad mentioned when the movie finished, like everyone's silent.
And that's what I've heard. I've heard that everyone walks out and no one says an absolute word, which is amazing.
And it's awesome because there's this underlying feeling of just like pride in your country.
Sure.
But I mean, it's not a happy movie. Unfortunately, when I was watching the movie, there were actually small children behind us, and I would say these kids were probably like 10 to 12. This is not a movie to bring your 10 to 12 year old there.
Why would you do that?
And the little kids were talking the whole time, so it was a little bit annoying.
No.
But it was a really well done movie. The thing I liked most about it, and not to give away too many spoilers or anything, I think a lot of people know the story of Chris Kyle. But they really actually played a lot about the PTSD, and I feel like that's missed on a lot of movies. You know, we see movies like great movies like We Were Soldiers, Saving Private Ryan, those types of movies that glorify war, but we don't see the after effects of it.
Sure.
We might see the direct effect of it, like people like losing limbs, dying,
Things like that. But how do they live? How do they cope with that going forward for the rest of their lives?
That was big, and Bradley Cooper was amazing in the role. The casting was amazing. Clint Eastwood's direction, phenomenal. I would say it's the best movie I've seen in years. Personally speaking,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It broke records. It had $105 million at the box office over the 4-day weekend. That's huge for MLK weekend. Because I'll be honest, this is not a big movie release time as far as on the calendar year. This would be like a box office, like summer blockbuster kind of thing, which is kind of a big deal. This actually outsold Guardians of the Galaxy, which came out last summer in the prime time in the middle of July.
And Guardians of the Galaxy was,
I just saw it last week actually for the first time.
Oh,
phenomenal! Loved it.
It's a good movie and stuff, and that's a movie you can bring the whole family to. And obviously, one parent kind of missed the ball on that in my movie theater. But hopefully...
Parenting with Ross White.
I mean, I'm not a dad, but I can pretty much tell you American Sniper, just by the name, isn't the movie to take your kids to.
You're not a dad?
No, not yet.
Oh. Snap.
Give it
Okay.
about 4 months. I'm kidding. Just kidding. No, I do think everything about it was really good, but kids aren't going to go to this movie. It's going to be an adult movie, so the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy kids could go to.
Sure.
The fact that it's selling this well, it's just amazing.
It's doing awesome.
And it'll be really interesting to see what the Academy does with a war movie. They're usually pretty biased against war movies, so I'm really excited to see how it ends up at the Oscars and stuff. I don't think it was actually.
It was nominated. I think it got 6 noms.
Really? Okay,
I think
good.
so. So
But,
I can double check that. Maybe have our intern do the fact checker on that one see how many nominations American Sniper got.
And but in the words of Nelly, 2 is not a winner, 3 no one remembers. You got to win it. You
True.
got to win it if
True
you want
that.
big. So we'll
True
see
that.
how they take care of that.
True facts with Ross White and Jordan Irvin.
Heard that.
As well as moving on, this is it falls under entertainment. I think it's entertainment.
It's entertaining.
It's
sure.
entertaining. 6
Six
nominations. We
nominations,
just got the
six
fact check.
nominations
6
for
nominations,
American
including, I
Six.
believe, Best Picture as well as Best Actor, which is huge. And was it Best Director for Clint Eastwood? Do you know? We'll have him take a look at that while I
I
break
don't
this
think
other
he
one.
got Best Director. I think that was like kind of a snub. Like
That's
one of those little,
stupid.
And I don't know much about movies, but maybe I should watch all the Oscars.
Maybe.
Pictures.
You want to watch the Oscars?
What's that about? Do you guys want that? If you want that, dude,
You want it?
hashtag Oscars with the
Hashtag Oscars. In Kentucky, there is a new modern day Bonnie and Clyde, which automatically raises eyebrows right there because not a lot of things happen in Kentucky. Let's get real.
Yeah.
It's literally a step away from
And
Michigan.
usually it's stuff like this.
Yeah, for the most part.
It's pretty crappy stuff happens in Kentucky.
Yeah, pretty much.
basketball.
18-year-old Dalton Hayes took off from his Kentucky home with his 13-year-old girlfriend.
It's an age disparity I
Whoa.
would not toy with.
Apparently, according to him, he did not know that she was 13. I'm sitting here, how the hell do you know
They
that
never
she's 13?
do
You never
do
saw
that.
her ID?
They never
know that stuff down there in
She ever tried to
Kentucky.
buy cigarettes or anything with them? I feel like these are the kind of
couldn't
people
tell
that
you.
smoke
I think he knew
cigarettes.
she was younger, but I don't think he knew that she was that young.
What's a 13-year-old doing?
I have no idea, but they were both in the midst of a multiple crime spree. They'd stolen 3 pickup trucks they were in Kentucky, and they made it all the way down to Georgia, and they were eventually captured in Florida. They stole 3 pickup trucks, one of them containing 2 firearms. They stole some things, I believe, from Walmart, and as well as they caused like $7,000 worth of damage to a cattle farm. I'm sitting here thinking, how do you have $7,000 worth of stuff at a cattle farm?
I just think this is the most hillbilly crime spree that you could ever tell anyone about. I'm just learning about most of these details for the first time. And all I can think was like, this is something people from Kentucky would do.
This is
I
straight
think
up.
They're stealing cattle, they're stealing stuff from
Yeah.
Walmart, and they're stealing pickup trucks only.
They
Only
passed
pickup.
2 stolen checks at Walmart.
Oh, nice.
So that's dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they were.
You think we can get them on the show?
Possibly. I mean, I think everyone's gonna want them on their show.
I think they have a little problem called jail, but maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
We can call them.
Well-
We're getting a phone hooked up, right?
Hey, can you call,
We're gonna
call
phone-
those people?
Yeah.
I don't think they have cell phone service in prison, so.
Actually, that's not true. Because the Serial Podcast, which is a big name podcast going around right now about, God, I can't remember his name. Anand Syed. It's a crime that they're reviewing from like 15 years ago or something. It's really good, actually. I recommend everyone take a listen, as everyone else in the world has. And he was talking about he had a cell phone in prison because he was trying to call T-Mobile one time to get his service fixed. So that's a fun fact for you. I guess some prisons do allow it, just like Lil Wayne had an iPod in prison.
I didn't know Lil Wayne was in prison.
Oh yeah, he was arrested a couple years ago and was in prison for a while.
I don't think
Wow, we need a crime beat. We need a jail checker. We'll have our intern tell us about big name celebrities who are currently in jail.
What's the
From now on.
What's the magazine called?
Oh,
Or
Busted?
Slammer?
No, Busted.
Busted.
Yeah, Busted is a newspaper that shows you everyone who's gotten arrested, and
Yeah.
you see the people you went to high school with, and it gets awkward.
Yeah, that is awkward.
Yeah,
I've
it's
had
really
that. I've had that
Oh,
happen.
I've had it happen all the time.
All right.
But this now leads us
actually.
to... Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a little bit of news that just came out here not too recently. Now, I will warn you guys, we are filming this on Tuesday, and it posts on Friday.
So this might be already news that'll be spoken about when you're viewing it, but that's okay.
So this
We'll give it
isn't
to you
breaking,
first.
but it's breaking to us.
It's
So
breaking for
we're
us.
going to give this to you 4 days late.
Because we love you.
Because we love you, and that's what we think about you.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber of the
Belieber.
Bieber name
Beavers.
is going to be the guest of honor on Comedy Central's next Celebrity Roast.
Oh, is
And
Bob
I
Saget
will-
going to be there?
That's
Have
only
they
details
they
I
haven't
have.
even announced who's
They
going to be
haven't
there
announced,
roasting
but
him?
the person I really want to see is Seth Rogen.
Oh, I think Seth Rogen would be great. I think Selena Gomez, because she's probably got some really good details on him.
She does. When you're ready, come get it.
Nah.
No. But you know that Seth Rogen and Justin Bieber actually have beef. They have beef
really?
Where Seth Rogen kind of tweeted out that he would. I don't know. Can we get Seth Rogen's tweets about Bieber, Tyler?
Can we get that?
We got
Yeah.
Tyler the intern on it.
Personally, I'm a believer. I think he's an idiot, but I'd be lying if I said I don't listen to some of his music.
As a man, I don't think fighting is the right thing to do, because I think when you fight somebody, you're mad because you fight them, and then you're mad after you fight them.
And then you listen to a lot of Neo songs after you get in a fight.
I don't have that experience to pull from.
Just me. Just me then, I guess. Okay, well.
But I do feel confident in the fact that I could beat up Justin Bieber.
I think anyone
100%.
could. But at the same time, though, did you incorporate the fact that he has bodyguards who are trained to inflict harm on anyone who inflicts harm on Bieber?
Yeah, but I could definitely talk crap to him.
Okay, well, yeah, I think anyone could.
Have you seen the Photoshop picture of Bieber?
Yeah, I've seen the spoofs and the funny ones, and he even actually laughed about it himself.
I mean, you have to. At that point,
yeah,
you just have to laugh at
That's where, like I said, Bieber, he's turning into a champ anymore. He knows that he's not going to win, so just instead of fighting back, he gives in.
You can be a believer, whatever you call them.
Believer.
You don't have anything?
No, you can't get Seth Rogen tweets? Like,
what
what's
do we
going
not
on?
pay you for?
God, you worst intern ever. You're going to meet our intern Tyler soon with his short segment.
I'll find it on my cell phone.
Yeah, I guess. Well, now this moves on to the best segment of the day called J Trends. It's Trends with me, Jordan. Talk about some style things. You know, we talked about it. We want to be the Swiss Army knife of manliness, right? And one of those things is presenting yourself well. One of the biggest knocks that we have in our society today as men is a store that is an abomination to men. And I think you know what store I'm talking about, Ross.
I have no idea because I'm not a metrosexual.
All right. Well, it's called Buckle.
Oh.
That store sucks.
Oh, I'm also not a douchebag, so I don't know
exactly
what
right. Is. So this is it, man. Put away your ripped jeans. If your shirt has any bedazzling on it, get rid of it. If it has bleach on it, it's not good. Get rid of the crucifixes.
I agree. I'm not a big person of fashion, but on this, can I just tell a little story?
Sure, absolutely. I'd love to hear
One
the story.
time I was driving to work and I saw a gentleman walking on the side of the street.
Yeah.
And he had some gray hair.
Gray hair.
Actually, it was all gray. Looked to be in his early 50s.
Nice.
And he had an Affliction shirt on that said Rebel Spirit.
Stop.
And I really think that identified the type of man that he was. A 50-year-old Rebel Spirit.
It's terrible. Just put it away. If your shirt, jewelry, clothing, boots, whatever have any more than like 4 crucifixes, it's too much. It's simple, plain too much. That's it. Put it away. Get rid of it.
I blame UFC fighters. I blame them.
That's a J Trend segment of the day. But you'll learn to grow and love this going forward because it's just gonna help you feel better about yourself. It's helping you know what's good and what's not. Right?
Don't be a doofus.
Don't be a doofus.
And speaking of doofuses, our intern couldn't find this, and I found it in about 30 seconds.
Oh, good. Seth Rogen tweets.
Seth Rogen tweeted out, this was a while ago, actually,
Way to go.
It's almost a year ago. All jokes aside, and I quote, excuse my language, Justin Bieber is a piece of shit.
Wow.
And then went on to do an interview and saying how he met Justin Bieber and how he sucked and how he was at an MTV Awards show and had a snake wrapped around his wrist.
Dope.
That he was wearing as
like jewelry.
Like J-Trend.
It's a part of his accessories. That'd be cool.
And Seth Rogen walked up to him and said, WTF, and then he talked to him for 5 minutes and thought to himself, F this kid. He was trying to be funny with like, hey, this is a snake. So Seth Rogen obviously doesn't like Justin Bieber, so I think that'd be a really good candidate for
someone to roast him.
To roast him, because I think it would get pretty brutal.
I'm still putting my money on Selena.
I mean, well, there's going to be multiple people
roasting.
So actually maybe Seth Rogen and Selena roast him at the same time.
I think Kevin Hart would be kind of funny with that too. I don't know how well or how affiliated they are, but...
Yeah, Kevin Hart's... He's
a hilarious man.
He's a comedian.
He's good.
He tells jokes for a living.
He tells jokes for a living.
I would not say he's funny, but...
Oh, stop.
I'm just not a fan. He's just not me. He's just not me. And our director over here is angry because he thinks Kevin Hart's the greatest thing.
I wouldn't say he's the greatest thing, but he's hilarious. But speaking of comedians, we're actually now moving on to our segment of 2 minutes of technology with Tyler the intern.
All right, Tyler.
Hold on.
Your 2 minutes starts
Hyperloop?
now.
You're gonna talk about? Oh, Jesus!
You
All
told
right.
me to pick.
So tell me more about this Hyperloop.
Oh, so yeah, 2 minutes technology.
So this is one of my favorite guys out there right now. Is Elon Musk. He does Tesla and SpaceX and all that good stuff.
Question.
Yeah.
When you say he does Tesla, he does SpaceX.
Well, he created
What do you?
them.
Oh, okay. So you said he just does them. So that means
Another
a lot of different
question.
things.
What is SpaceX?
SpaceX.
I know this.
Yeah, you should probably.
Oh.
But it's okay. Private space travel that's now contracted with NASA to shuttle like astronauts and stuff to.
Question. He also did PayPal. Is that not correct?
That is correct. That's where
Thank
he got
you.
his original billions to build all this.
Question. Corduroy pants. Was that Elon Musk? Can we get a confirmation that it wasn't?
I can't confirm that it wasn't.
You only have 1 minute and 8 seconds, and I learned nothing. Nothing.
Well, that's not my fault.
Okay. Well, Hyperloop. Tell us more. Tell us more.
So he proposed this transit system called the Hyperloop.
Question. What's a transit system?
It's like a train.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's a system.
I'm
that-
trying to help the
it's a
viewers at
transit.
home who might be too scared to ask these questions, because Ross and I are educated enough to know them, but that's more or less what we want to know. So continue.
So
Okay.
he's running train.
He's running train,
Kind of.
and he does SpaceX
Yes.
and Tesla.
Yes.
Sounds like a drug.
It does. And SpaceX.
Elon Musk is doing massive
Hey, no,
amounts.
man, I got so messed up.
You
my
have
sign-ups
30
to
seconds and we don't know what Hyperloop
Let's
is.
go.
Tyler.
Come on.
It's a train in a tube that travels very, very quickly.
So it's like the thing when you go to the bank.
No.
Oh,
actually,
is
yes.
It's like that.
It's very
We're gonna
similar to
travel in
this.
that.
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh.
god, that's amazing.
Can we get that on the show? Can we get Elon Musk on the show?
Can we get Elon Musk?
Can we wear corduroy pants on the show?
I don't care if you were recording.
Question: can I change my name to something like Elon and I'll be Jalon?
I like that. Can I be
Yeah.
Arlon?
Done.
All right, that's pretty
All
tight.
right, cool.
We have about 5 seconds. Anything else you want to add?
Tyler,
It's very, very fast.
we hate you.
That's okay.
All right, well that's 2 minutes of technology
All
with
right,
Tyler the
time we're
intern.
done.
So
All right.
thanks for that waste of my life.
Awesome. Good
Tyler,
topic.
thank you very much. I learned that apparently I'm going to be shuttled in the thing that I put cash and checks in at the bank. But he uses a check anymore.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get Tyler away from us.
Tyler sucks.
Oh, man.
Ah, man,
Yeah.
those interns.
What is he even talking about?
I have no idea.
Hyperlooping?
Let's talk about the important things as we wrap up for the day, Ross.
All right.
What are you watching for the rest of the week?
For the rest of the week, I know today is Tuesday, like I said, and
Club going up.
Flash comes back tonight.
Flash?
Arrow comes back tomorrow. The Flash and Arrow.
Oh, okay,
Superhero stuff. And then
Yeah.
on Sunday, my annual tradition of watching the World Wrestling Entertainment Royal Rumble. A lot of interesting stuff.
That sounds awful.
Picking old Daniel Bryan to win. Go D-Bry.
Wait, this is WWE, right?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of him.
He's the yes guy. He's
I've
the
never.
yes guy.
I don't know.
He stopped a home invasion. He's awesome.
I
We'll teach
really,
you more about
it's
it.
been a while since I've watched WWE.
But that's one. What are you watching?
Personally, I'm gonna catch up on my Netflix queue. I'm gonna finish Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders.
Personal fave show of mine.
Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders. It's really good. I'm probably gonna finish that, and I mean I'll watch some Cavs games for the rest of the week. But that's about it, to be honest.
Are you listening to anything? Any songs that get you going?
I've currently been listening actually to the Logic album.
Ooh.
It's a rapper Logic from Maryland. He's done very well. Which, by the way, rest in peace to ASAP Yams. Hip hop titan has fallen. He was the founder of ASAP Mob. So if you listen to ASAP Rocky, then you have to pay homage to ASAP Yams, as he is passed away this weekend at the age of 26, which is terribly sad.
Really sad to hear. Just
Yeah.
learned that he existed right now. Very cool. I'm personally listening to Ben Howard's new CD. It's a little bit softer.
Ben Howard? We
I-
really need to switch like music libraries for a week
Yeah,
and figure out
we
what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah, but
So
other than that, we're good. So I think.
awesome. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Basic
Thank
Bros.
you.
Don't forget to follow us at basic_bros on Twitter. You'll be able to find the links on Vimeo as well as YouTube for this. Of course, follow us on Twitter. I am Jordan_D_Irvin.
I am at a Ross for words, spelled like it sounds. And we also have Tyler the Intern. on Twitter.
D-A,
DA.
duh intern.
Go to
So,
check out his profile. Pic.
please check that stuff out, guys. Tune in next week. We'll see you soon.
Have a good one.
Peace and love.